In 2006, a very popular YouTuber by the name of AVGN, also known nowadays as Cinemassacre, actually existed, producing one of the most popular internet web series imaginable, The Angry Video Game Nerd. Now look, back in the day, angry video game reviewing was pretty much all the rage. We really didn't have a whole lot of choices back in the day when it came to choices on content. You got cat videos, you've got fake ghost videos, which is what we're going to be tapping into today, and you had video game angry reviews. Now, early on in this time, once he struck it gold with this platform, earning around, 100,000 subscribers and thousands upon thousands of views, which, trust me, back in the early days of YouTube was like a Mr. Beast video. Yeah, then everyone else came out of the woodwork. You got people like R-Make, you got the gaming R-word or something, I don't even know if I can say the whole thing, and you had a whole bunch of angry video game reviewers. But one reviewer stuck out on top, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Irate Gamer. Now, if you're somebody who's old like me and you've been around YouTube gaming for a long time, you probably recognize this channel. In fact, he used to make similar angry video game reviews. He talked about Super Mario Smash Bros. Brawl, the Super Mario Bros. 2, the NES Scandal, and of course, Rob the Robot. So, if you actually watch some of these videos, you can see that they actually have some pretty awesome video quality. For back in the day, dude, 16 years ago, actually having proper camera framing, having actual, storylines and proper gameplay, that was huge. And obviously, Irate Gamer did a whole lot. Now, obviously, this guy, Chris Bors is his real name, has pretty much evolved through YouTube's time. But this is the guy that I swear is the biggest shapeshifter on the internet. Now, when I saw the Irate Gamer, I remember way back in the day, I was like, man, I wonder where he is nowadays. Now, obviously, Irate Gamer hasn't really went anywhere. He does produce content. He still remasters old reviews, and in fact, even talked about, actual current pop culture stuff like Dr. Disrespect is a microcosm of online gamers. We're all going to look at this real quick. Ooh, what is this? Adult NES games? Whoa, Irate Gamer is going to teach me that skibbity riz? Boy, I am ready. Bubble Bath Babes? Bro, this guy's covering all the NES porn. It's crazy. Now, when you come across characters like this, obviously you've heard how he sounds. What if I told you he's a shapeshifter on YouTube? Years after the Irate Gamer, he came back to YouTube limelight, but not for the old fans. No, he made Puppet Steve, Minecraft, FNAF, and toy unboxings. You don't believe me? Take 5 seconds and listen to this guy real quick.
Line of Five Nights at Freddy's visual guide collector books, and each one is loaded full of pictures, information, and everything you want to know about these characters from these awesome... All that just to press the A button? How is this supposed to be fun? What a piece of diarrhea dick waffles! I get more pleasure by sticking my tongue into an electrical socket!
You know what? It's not even that I'm surprised Irate Gamer's making FNAF content. I'm just surprised FNAF content is like this. But then again, I guess FNAF never went out. And obviously, there was a period where the actual Puppet Steve was killing it, okay? Tons of kids were lining up and watching the Bendy and the Ink Machine Bottle Figure Head Series 1 case unboxing. Yeah, that's probably more views than legit Counter-Strike case unboxings, showing that, honestly, we live inside the weirdest part of the internet. There is a lot more kids that sign on to watch skeleton SpongeBob figures, X-Ray, hidden dissectables, unboxing. He's basically like Blippi without the Harlem Shake poop video controversy. Now, while I'm not a huge fan of the Puppet Steve stuff because, I'm over the age of 6? I wanted to look at where he was right now. So while all these channels are actually active, the one passion project I came across was the Ghost Doctor. Now, Irate Gamer is a ghost expert, okay? If you actually look at the banner over here, he's collecting all the ghost gym badges. The Ghost Doctor features Chris Bors, who is the world's first ghost behaviorist? Whoa, what's a ghost behaviorist, you might be wondering, Muda? Well, it's what we call a bullshit parascience title. But I want to show you a footage of the ghost hunting TV show that he has, which in my opinion is absolutely worth watching. Now, I'm going to show you a small clip of it. One of my favorite episodes, Ghost Doctor, Repertoire Theater Investigations, Little Girl... Oh, that's can't say that title out loud. God damn. So here you actually have good old-fashioned our Ghost Doctor in front of the Toledo Repertoire Theater. So let's hear what he's got to say.
Behind me is the Repertoire Theater. It's home to 3 ghosts that haunt this facility. Tonight,
I love this filming, dude. It's literally filmed like he's on True TV. I swear, I love him. You know, the thing about it, he actually proved that, you know, when you make money, you want to spend it on passion. And this is actually something that Chris is passionate by. You can tell in the production of this video. So obviously, as you go through, Chris starts to bring up the actual, you know, types of demons that he comes across. And I want you to listen to some of his actual insights.
So it's kind of interesting with this George spirit. I'm trying to get him to interact. And if I had to guess, I would say that this is classified as a wandering spirit. You know, he just wanders in, watches the people put on their play, and then kind of wanders out. I don't think he's here at this moment. So, like I said, he's probably a wandering spirit.
Oh, a wandering spirit, you say? Now, if you played enough Phasmophobia, I'm sure you know exactly how to spot your jinns and your onryos and all the crazy poltergeists you can find in that game. Now, thankfully, Chris has provided some actual understandings and classifications. So the leading ghost behaviorist has developed a groundbreaking ghost classification chart, okay? With extensive paranormal research and psychological analysis, those 7 classifications offer a window into the spirit world. So if you look at it, you got hungry ghosts with a psychological hunger to finish unfinished business. You've got confused ghosts that died suddenly and they're unaware that they've died. You've got ghosts that are stuck to where they are. You've got helper ghosts that just help people that are living. You've got wandering ghosts that wander the afterlife after being attracted to a location, as opposed to the rest of the ghosts that are apparently so fucking crippled they are stuck to the exact same location in the afterlife, proving that is scarier than hell itself. You've got parasitic ghosts that feed off a person, item, or location. And then you've got red, which is just destructive, who literally will kill you upon contact. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, how did Chris come to this classification? What is his background and qualifications in this? Well, that is soon to be discovered. But rest assured, Chris is one of the best investigators I have ever seen inside work. So the amount of technology that he brings and the level of psychological understanding is something that I've never seen in a ghost show since, like, what, early taps? Early ghost adventures on True TV, on, like, television? This is crazy. So here Chris is hunting for the lady in white, and here he's getting EVPs. Until we come across a moment where, like, the lady in white says something really wild to him. I want you to listen to her dropping some mad slurs.
The lady in white is also said to be in this area.
Seconds later, I caught another EVP of the lady in white trying to be sarcastic again by calling me a derogatory name.
Bro, she called him a shithead? Bro! My boy's getting made fun of from the after. Dude, the dead ghosts are making fun of him, dude. The afterlife is ripping on Chris Boris at this point. Jesus Christ. Now, at this point, Chris finds a little girl ghost and sets up some motion trackers and whatnot and tries to actually gain some actual insight and understanding and possibly even a little ghost event at this point. Now, it's to understand if you're hearing the whimsical music, that's not me editing it in. That's actually part of the original video. The entire tonal shifts you go through with just one episode of Ghost Doctor Investigations is already a fever dream, okay? I just want to let that know right off the top of the head.
Or used to be your home. Do you like cookies? Do you want me to bring a cookie in here for you? It's my gift to you. If you want it, just walk in front of that. Are you not hungry then?
He's actually so dejected. Now, this moment in time, our friend, our ghost doctor here, is literally offering treats to a actual supernatural being from the other side. Walk through the motion detector, and I will give you a cookie. All right, it's insane shit. You know, I swear to God, I've never seen actual, like, usually when you watch ghost stuff, they try to make it as scary as possible. But here he's literally like the nicest guy. Like, he's apparently come across a little girl that has died, went into the afterlife, asked her crazy questions like, do you enjoy living in this abandoned fucking theater? Do you want a cookie? Well, he brings out even more actual stops in order to find out the actual, ghost right here. Let's look further.
Okay, just making sure it's still working. Yeah, one thing I've noticed is that child spirits, especially with these type of devices, they'll play with them just a little bit and then they're just off to the next thing. This has to be a little girl because it has the attention span of one.
I love the logic. You see, guys, little kid ghosts, their attention span is shot because they're little kids. They usually play with these toys and they fuck off to the next thing that we've... Jesus Christ, bro. I love it. And you know the thing about like ghost hunting stuff is like, how do you counter this? How do you like refute what he said as illogical? It's ghosts, for crying out loud, okay? Like you can't refute what he says. There's nothing to refute. It's just ghost stuff. You either believe it or you don't.
All right, Anna, I've got another little game we can play here. Now these are lights that you can interact with. If you touch them, you can set them off.
I love how anything can just be a paranormal tool now. It's like, yeah, these are some lights I bought off AliExpress. Yeah, they're motion detecting, okay? All right? So remember, if the ghost gets in contact with them, to let you know. If they enter the ring of horror, we'll know. We know, all right? We know. These AliExpress toys don't fuck around.
Kind of like Christmas lights. You like Christmas? So they're all purple now, but if you touch them, you can turn them different colors. And then to sweeten the deal, I know you've got a sweet tooth. I've got a cookie here, chocolate cookie, just for you. I brought this just for you.
See, this is how you know he's just fucking around. Well, how's the ghost gonna eat the cookie? It has no stomach. How is the ghost girl gonna eat the cookie? You know, this is how absurd the content is. I'm trying to make actual scientific sense out of it. He's literally offering a dead ghost girl a cookie. All right, how's she gonna eat it, Chris? How's she gonna consume the cookie? What, she gonna levitate it off the ground and put it in her ghost belly? Come on now. Oh, we actually got real confirmation. That's crazy. You know what I love about him? He's actually genuinely excited. This is how I know he believes what he does. You can hear in his voice that he actually was just super excited. And this is how I know what I'm watching is not a fake. Like you can't fake that. Like you could hear the gasp in his voice where he's like, oh my God, the light actually moved. They're getting near the cookie. This is why I love him as a ghost hunter. He believes in this, and that's what makes me believe in this to an extent too. It's crazy. So will our ghost girlfriend eat the cookie? Well, let's find out on this next section of Dragon Ball Z, boys and girls.
Cookie is for you. I want you to enjoy that. Can you spike 2 lights this time? Can you do that for me? Is that all you're gonna give me? Just one little flash?
No, dude. No. Ooh, God, that is a poor clip right there.
Because I hear the little girls just in the afterlife, just hanging around the building. You know, you assume the worst.
What's gonna happen to her in the afterlife? Well, she's already dead. She's already roaming around the paranormal planes. What's the worst that could happen? She gets ghost snapped? I don't get it. Now, the rest of this investigation pretty much relies on him using all these same pieces of tech, the Hector Salamanca yes or no light bulbs, the dots projectors, various forms of like thermal imaging to capture as much ghost evidence as he can. Now, obviously, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, I think there's no harm in it. Obviously, you know, for ghosts to be proven, I think you need a lot more evidence. My standard is a little higher, but Chris is designing this as kind of like a TV show or something that you would see on like local television, and, you know, you can clearly tell he's passionate about this, okay? Now, Chris also does other things, where he actually dives into haunted artifacts. But before we go there, let's look at some of the cures that the Ghost Doctor provides. One thing that I looked at with good old Chris was I wanted to see what he was selling on his storefront. And aside from a Blu-ray collection, which I may or may not buy, he's got like cleansing packages now too. What is tar water? I gotta see this. The water is used for aggressive and persistent hauntings. This ghost doctor approved tap tar water helps remedy the more powerful spirits that invade your home in the more advanced instruction videos. So what? You just you just buy this? It's like holy water, except even more scary. And he's got like instructional videos too at this point as well, where he shows you how to counter demons and everything. It's actually insane. So you can actually order a house cleansing package from Chris now. So if you give him your phone number, your full name, address optional, thankfully, how long have you been experiencing paranormals, and here's the types of paranormal experiences you've got. Do you have feelings of being watched, dread, uncontrollable arguments, whispers and voices, knocks, nightmares, sleep paralysis, touching, welts, hissing shadow figures, gray alien figures, hot cold fluctuations, continuous brain fog? God damn. He doesn't fuck around. And then he asks you for a whole bunch of personal information. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I assume after this, if Chris deems it viable, to come in and cleanse the home. Now, of course, he's also got the Ghost Doctor Toolkit, which doesn't contain the tar water, but actually has like holy water at this moment in time, sticks of sage, bags of blessed holy salt, a wooden box, and of course the walnut scroll for cleansing portals. Now look, I'm not here to say if this is real or not, but again, you've also got the gold package for cleaning. So you've got a package that is designed for stage 5 hauntings, including hearing voices, dark clouds, feeling bed shaking, actually, I might need to order because I got sleep paralysis problems. The more severe signs that you're encountering at stage 5 include full-blown apparitions, uncontrollable emotions, abduction dreams, thoughts of murder, abduction dreams, again for some reason, and object shattering. Now, I think this is far less exciting than Arabic ghost hunting, where literally people just walk by themselves into derelict places filled with crackheads and get what appear to be poltergeist experiences. But I also think this kind of stuff that Chris does is obviously far, safe. Like, it's pretty tame for YouTube. I wouldn't even consider it on the same level of paranormal grifting that some people do when it comes to profiting off of actual dead individuals right after they die and talking to their spirit forms. This is simply a man that believes in ghost hunting adventures and wants to just investigate them like classic ghost hunters do. But where it gets really wild with Chris is I think there's a lot of self-awareness in the kind of stuff that he says. Now, 2022, around the time of VidCon, this image of me with the Sonichu medallion is one that I really wanted to share with the audience. Now, the Sonichu medallion is quite an intriguing tale right now at this moment in time, because there is something known as the Sonichu medallion curse that's been going on. Now, Chris is a seasoned paranormal expert, and he understands exactly, what kind of ghosts, start possessing things around. He has a system.
Before we get started, I want to put it out there that I wanted to make this episode about a month ago, but a couple weird instances happened at the house here that got in the way of production. In fact, a day before I was going to be filming this episode, that night we had some weird paranormal things happen where we had an entity kind of come in and wake us up in the middle of the night and mutter the words, "I can't breathe." Now, what's weird about this is that the very next day, all over the news was George Floyd, and one of the mantras that they were talking about was the words saying the exact same phrase, "I can't breathe," which was just, it blew me away.
I don't know if there's any context that could really explain this. Like, it blows me away too, to be honest with you. And the thing about it is, this clip really shows me that Chris has the ability to channel spirits or come across, spiritual, phenomenon across state lines, which is truly a massively insane thing. Now, the other thing is, obviously, throughout this entire piece, we've seen that Chris is a seasoned ghost investigator. Chris is an expert at classifying certain ghost types. He's somebody that you can rely on to clean up your house if you've got a nasty ghost infestation, and we clearly can see that he can intercept ghost paranormal investigations across state lines. Wild stuff. Now, Chris has sort of inserted himself into internet lolcow memedom culture by commenting on something known as the Sonichu medallion curse. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what the Sonichu medallion is, if you are familiar with the internet, figure Chris Chan, then you know that during their early days, and well, still to this day, it's a medallion that they wear that is made out of Crayola model magic and whatever kind of utilities you can find. It resembles the Sonichu character in a crude fashion, and some believe that this actual medallion carries some cursed powers amongst it. Now, Chris Chan is somebody that has cast Curse Yehamehas before, so it's reasonable to expect that this might contain some serious dark energy that can affect people and their careers. Now, I'm going to hit you with some internet lore real quick, so guys, so bear with me. To understand the Sonichu medallion curse, you must first understand a very popular law YouTuber by the name of Nick Rekieta. Now, if this name seems familiar to you, it probably is, because Nick Rekieta was one of the largest law channels, I would say about a year, maybe a little over a year ago, when he was covering massive cases in the YouTuber commentary zeitgeist. Cases like Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. This guy had tons of live viewers, tons of people watching their content, and basically solidified himself with a massive community on the platform. But Nick Rekieta ended up having a downfall because, people had started to peek more into his life. He was somebody that I believe was presenting more as a trad individual, somebody that was more conservative leaning, but it turned out that he was a little bit more degenerate than anybody, that he was letting on. Now, obviously, when you're portraying yourself as one thing, but you really turn out to be another, it causes a bit of a schism between your fan base, and that's when the real fall off starts to occur. It's always better if you're just your real self, basically, on the internet versus some pretend wannabe that effectively has to be playing a character 24/7. That mask can only stay on so long. Now, earlier in 2024, people have started to really watch Nick Rekieta and see that his level of intoxication when it came to alcohol was insane. The guy was constantly being drunk, being belligerent, and, it eventually became a situation where he was eventually raided by the police. Like, law enforcement ended up being involved on a tip that wasn't at all, from my understanding, related to the internet. And then it came out that he had a lot of, allegedly a lot of narcotics, around in his personal life. People were being affected, whether it be a significant other women. It would also involve children, unfortunately, as well, because it appeared that the children weren't being taken care of. And allegedly, some of these children were tested positively for, addictive, vices like cocaine. So obviously, this was the final straw. It's not that this guy was just a bad YouTuber or somebody that was falling off, quote unquote. It's because they actually put actual human lives in danger because they just couldn't get their fucking shit together and be a goddamn adult. Now, at some point, Nick Rekieta had basically showcased a Sonichu medallion that he acquired.
I got to this anonymous letter, or the anonymous package. It was postage not paid. Like, I had to pay the postage on it to receive it, and the post office like, well, where was it sent from? And it had my address as the return address with me as the sendee, which is not true. And in it had this burned piece of paper, which I feel like I'm going to get serial rape here. It says, the stars are aligned, a new host is chosen, hail unto thee, Nick Chan Rekieta. And then with that came this, and this was so weird because this came before the mention of Sonic in the trademark dispute that we were talking about last night. A Sonichu medallion has been passed to me. I don't know where this came from.
Now, you can purchase these Sonichu medallions. And the whole curse basically comes out to any creator that has bought one of these or has maybe received them at some point in their career. And as soon as you put this on, the dark energy manifests and your career fall off begins. Now, I like to think that this is kind of like, taking, prescription medication. As long as you ain't, mixing it with alcohol, I guess, you might be fine. But in general, yeah, Nick Rekieta was one of those extreme cases where obviously his own actions led to a very serious downfall. And memes aside, the Sonichu medallion curse is something that, people have been looking at mostly as a meme, first off. But then again, you also have YouTubers like Chris Bors, the Irate Gamer, the Ghost Doctor, who decided to dive in and give their own paranormal assessment of this curse. And let's hear what he has to say about these cursed objects.
To address this, we have to get into the paranormal science of how cursed items work. So let's get into it. So if somebody really knows what they're doing in magic. Okay, not a lot of people do it. This is why it doesn't happen very often. But if somebody's really good at magic and cursing an item, what happens is they're actually putting like a Topol-like energy, or think of like a golem. They're putting like a golem-like energy into this thing to do the bidding of the master. So,
that makes total paranormal scientific sense. He speaks like he's on 4chan's paranormal board. It's like, yeah, you see, what people do, not a lot of people are good at magic, but usually those that can infuse Topol-like energies into these objects, again, there's no actual scientific understanding or basis. It's just the blood yapping for 4 minutes straight.
When Nick got this thing in the mail in 2019, he put it on, and right then and there, everything swung into action. This Topol-like energy started to manifest, and the gears started spinning. Now these energies, what they do is they're pretty much siphoning off energy, feeding off energy. These are kind of parasite spirits. I've come up with 7 different classifications of spirits.
Oh, we've seen the 7 classifications. So, okay, he puts the medallion on. Mudo, how do you cure the medallion? How do you stop it, okay? Well, Chris tells us what happens when we're dealing with cursed items, okay?
Cursed items. Now, if you're asking, okay, how do you combat something like this? Well, the best way to do it is cleanse your living space, cleanse your house, prayers, things like that. It could disrupt what is going on, because these parasite spirits, what they're doing is they're trying to lower your vibration level, because if they lower it, as they're lowering it, you're more susceptible for attack.
Oh, you see that? They're lowering your vibration. I think he's trying to say vibes, but he's just so animated doing this that apparently it's your vibration levels that are causing. If they go low enough, okay, they go low, these parasite demons, they attack even harder.
Home, and this is why I have a service. It's at ghostdrchris.com. This is why I have a service. I help tons of people out.
So basically, in order to fix yourself and your situation, you go to his website and you buy one of those goddamn services, because he's going to cleanse you that way. No, I'll tell you right now, if I ever have the Sonichu medallion haunting me, I'm going to set that bitch on fire, okay? One thing I know about ghosts and demons is fire cleanses all. Alhamdulillah, we will wipe it from this dimension. Chris is doing a Sonichu documentary because of this newfound attention. But according to him, he woke up fighting through a bout of sleep paralysis, which I actually know a lot of, unfortunately. This morning, while on my side, which hardly ever happens, event occurred around 6:30 or so. This stuff always seems to happen in the 6 o'clock hour because of 666 Link. I could sense a huge dark presence on my backside with huge hands resting on my side torso. Not sure if that was the reason I was pinned down. Probably feeding off me, damn leeches. I'm sure the craziness will continue. I need you to be safe, Chris. You're my only safety net from this haunting, and I would love to work with you in order to combat this evilness that is also invading both of our residences. Now, of course, he's also gone down a wild situation. Even with Dr. Disrespect, one of the things that he said was, my gut feeling, this scandal's just the beginning. Whether you feel he's in the right or wrong, it's only a matter of time before the online gaming genre is turned upside down. Other employees will get curious and start digging into gamers' emails. The big ones will be hit first, followed by the smaller ones. I saw a lot of weird stuff at E3 behind closed doors. You guys better get mentally prepared for this. So it's insane that he's kind of alluding to like a crazy conspiracy, almost groomer theory, I want to say, in regards to the gaming scene. He's seen a lot of wild shit. When questioning about, Mr. Beast, where they actually were saying, don't let your kids watch Mr. Beast, they're brainwashing your kids. Here, Chris Bohr says, I could care less what these guys do in their private life, but Mr. Beast is a vetted YouTube frontman. I was a 55th most subscribed channel on YouTube up until 2012. I used to take meetings with our top people. I know how this works. They vetted me in 2011 for the same thing. Mr. Beast was hand-selected to be their guy. Don't think he just got somehow popular by some luck of the draw. YouTube's lying to you all. Do the research. I hate it when people say do the research. Like, bro, just how do we do the research into it? How do we prove any of this? You got to provide the proof with the crazy allegations, because as of now, I just think Mr. Beast is a fucking algorithm wizard still to this day. But yeah, Chris has jumped down some wild rabbit holes. And to be honest, revisiting paranormal YouTube like this has been both a blessing and a curse. I've realized that I'm missing out on serious money by not selling paranormal hunting services. And at the end of the day, with all of this stuff right now, I'm glad that I got to catch up with my favorite Irate gamer and just realize that, the ghost hunting grift, it is awesome these days. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.